Hello, everyone. I needed to come on tonight. Let's see, what time is it? 7. Yeah, I had to calm myself down. I've been at home for like I'll say an hour. I'll let y'all start getting the notifications. Oh, Lord. Be quiet. Hey, little Miss Muffin. Hey, Tierney. Tierney and little Miss Muffin. We gotta meet Monday. We gotta meet Monday. How y'all doing tonight, y'all? What's going on in the street? Listen, y'all. Tyranny and Little Miss Muffin. I was in North Memphis today, and I promise you, the state troopers was out. It seemed like to me everywhere. Like I was going down Frazier, and I guess I got to because I don't know all the streets in North Memphis, but I was going down Frazier, and I got right before I got to was it Overton Crossing or something? They was out heavy. They was out heavy. The whole time I had to be in North Memphis. Hey Miss Nelly, positive vibes, Miss Brenda, Lakita. Hey Nikolai, I ain't seen you in so long. They just spoil. They are so spoiled. They be fighting for my affection. I got these puppies so spoiled. And y'all, it's hot outside. I had my hat on though. I still had on my hat. Um, Hey, 901 South Memphis. What's the word? 901 South Memphis. Do you still live in South Memphis? Do you still live in the South? Ooh, 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 ooh. I'm so happy. I just got a notification that my paper towel holder is coming that I'll be able to pin on the wall, hang it on the wall. I'm so happy. I miss you and the fam. I moved to a new property and got another dog. Been super busy. Oh, well, I'm happy you're back then. But it's a good thing you moved to a new property. Yeah, what else going on? Let's see what else going on. Other than it being it's hot outside, I'm happy that Christmas is over, and I'm glad that that's over. I think I'm gonna drink me some wine. I think I'm gonna have me a glass of wine tonight. Y'all know I got so much wine. I got so much wine and I got a lot of wine. I went to this store and they had their wine and stuff on sale. And I got so much wine. It was ridiculous. And I don't even drink wine like that. But when my moderators, I hooked them up though. And what else? Yeah. I think I'm gonna have me a glass tonight. I got some wine in there called Black Girl Magic. I think I may open that. And I'm gonna open that on New Year's. For some reason, I've been keeping that because I like it. Because I haven't seen it anymore. Black Girl Magic. I just like the name of it, and I don't get drunk. I don't reckon. I start to get real relaxed. So maybe I should just wait until the end of the show because y'all know a couple sips and I'm ready. I get sleepy because I'm not a real drinker. And then or I'm gonna tell y'all, it's weird. I get to drinking a few sips, I'll get real sleepy or I'll get real emotional. Hey Antonio Anthony. I'll get real emotional and start talking about some stuff y'all don't even know nothing about from the past and get to crying about it. Child, my mama told me you don't need to drink. You don't need to drink no wine because you're not a drinker and you don't know how to hold it because you get real emotional. Hey Sunday, but how's everybody doing though? But I'm gonna have me a glass in a few minutes and just relax and chill out with y'all. I deserve a little small glass of wine. Um, I mean, we're just talking about anything tonight. Like it's Saturday Night Live, and um, we're just talking about anything. I was looking at Stan G, and Stan G was saying that King said to Finesse that he was messing around with his daughter. I hope that first, I don't believe it. They said King is 14. I didn't think King was 14. Because King said like earlier this year he was 11 years old. She said, I got me my Coca-Cola. That's what Cypress be saying when he's going to the store. He going to get his Coca-Cola. I tell you. But other than that, you guys, hey, I feel real blessed, and I'm so I'm gonna tell y'all. I told y'all what happened with the Black Barbie, didn't it? The Black Barbie has sent me a gift for my birthday, right? And yeah, the Black Barbie has sent me a gift for my birthday. Was it for my birthday? Yeah. And when I opened it, it was a fan. The box had a fan on it, a little small fan. And so I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. That's nice." I was like, "I'll just keep it on my desk." And y'all know my birthday is in August. And I believe she sent it to me last August, not this past, but the last year August. So I was like, I'll just keep this on my desk or whatever. And when it get hot, I have me a little fan that I could turn on when I unwrapped it. Child, the air, the heating system broke at work. It was hot. It was hot as I don't know what. Y'all know the weather has been weird. So I said, I'm gonna go ahead and break my fan out. This would be the perfect opportunity because I was trying to finish up writing up some reports. And I started opening the box. Hey, Cakes Blessed. Hey, is that Isgop? Hello. Have been here in a while. How's everyone? Everyone is good. Hey, Black Barbie. We was just talking about you. And so I open up. I'm thinking I'm getting ready to take my little fan out and turn it on my desk. And I started seeing like some pink roses and then I see like after I see the roses, I see like this these two red stiletto heels and the Black Barbie. What can I put in these stiletto heels? Because at first I thought it was like a wine holder, but it's not a wine holder. Is it just decoration, or am I able to put something in it? It may just be decoration because it's pretty. I mean, the shoe's so beautiful. It don't make no sense. It's like something you put on your desk, and it's a shirt. I had a shirt that says Leo on it, and I haven't worn a shirt like that, y'all. And I was so emotional. It made me so emotional, y'all. It had August Queen living my best life. Yeah, I had been wanting a shirt like that with my zodiac sign and stuff on it, talking about the Leos and all of that. I promise you, I shedded some tears because I was like, "Dog, I've had this right here." Because she asked me, I remember her asking me, "How did I like it?" I said, I said I like it. I needed a fan, and but I just looked at the box. I didn't open it, and I just put it on my desk. And I promise y'all, I shedded some tears because I was like, "Oh my god!" Like the whole time, it had something else in it, like a shirt and these cute little heels to sit on top of my desk. And I'm thinking that I had a fan in there. I was getting ready to run that fan because it was hot as hell. And I thought I was getting ready. I said, "This is the perfect time to open my gift that she sent me." And there was something else in there. I was like, "Oh my God." I immediately reached out to her and told her thank you. Because so the moral of the story is, y'all, when you get a gift, open the box. Don't just assume that what's on the outside of the box is what's in the inside of the box. I got a pleasant surprise. I really did. I really did appreciate it. It was so nice. I appreciate the fan too. I had to sit there and suffocate, or would have appreciated the fan too, because it sure would have came in handy. I think with my new cake mixer, um, that my sister, I think my sister bought it for me. Yeah, that my sister bought for me. I'm gonna start practicing on making cakes and glazes and all of that for fun. I'm gonna start working on like making like diabetic cakes. And when I say that I'm not a diabetic, mean cakes with less sugar, because that's something that I had started looking into anyways. Ways to substitute for the cakes to still taste good, but not have all that sugar in it. He says, "Why is the court system so messed up in Memphis? We need change. Some investigators don't do their job on some of these cases too." What kind of cases is it? 901 JB? What you talk about? What they don't be doing? I believe you. Now, don't get me wrong now. I believe you. Trust me when I tell you now, I'm with you. But what happened? I'm telling you because I just experienced that with they're not doing their checks and balances. They don't give a damn. Chief Davis, I'm gonna tell y'all what Chief Davis did that I don't agree with. My brother case in car accident. Mm. So was it a homicide? I mean, like a vehicular. So what is it? What kind of case is it? Is it just an accident case? Was anybody injured? Anything like that? So I'll know what. So what kind of case was it? You tell me what kind of case was it? Hey, Car Hannah. Hey, Ashley. Oh my God, when did this happen? 901 JB. When did that happen? Hey, Miss Shan. Guys, we're going October 8th, 2024. Oh my freaking God. Guys going 100 miles an hour. The car went airborne. Oh my God. Have they found the guys that did it? Were the guys arrested that did it? The guy that was driving, has he been arrested? Hmm. Mm. I mean, it was a vehicular, obviously, it was a vehicular homicide. The guy was driving the car. So, what do they mean they don't have no evidence? I mean, it was a vehicular homicide. Mm. He ran. Who was the car registered to? Who was the car registered to? Mm. Mm. I tell you, his mom, a girlfriend, they had girlfriend fingerprints, but didn't charge her and then make her snitch on him. His mom went from 1 million to 45,000. Oh wow, that is definitely an injustice. Wow. Mm. Hey, tapping in. Yeah, there are a lot of cases where um the cases are just unsolved. And I'm gonna tell y'all something that Chief Davis did. It used to be you could not be an investigator. You could not be promoted to sergeant, which are the investigators, until or join a special force, not unless you was going over to OCU. And they normally recruit new officers for OCU because of new faces for stings. But um it used to be 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. And I think she changed that. She changed it to like 2 years. I don't think that an officer should be promoted to investigator after 2 years. I think 5 years is sufficient enough time for them to learn their job and get the piss and vinegar out of their system. So, um, maybe that's the reason why we're starting to see so many piss poor investigators that don't know anything. I told y'all. And he never did come and talk to you all? Mm. Mm. I sure hate that. Lord knows I do. I hate that more than anything. I do. I be, you know, I be hating to see stuff like that happen. Mm-mm-mm. Mm. Lord have mercy. Now that's a little farmer right there. I like that. Oh my God, that smells so good. Y'all know I got some more of my bath, but my butter in. And it is the vegan fruit punch body butter. And it smells just like lemons and lime. Oh my God. It smells just like the fruit punch. Y'all come starting now. I'm getting back on my healthy kick, on my healthy journey. Like it's all about mind, body, and soul in 2026. Like I'm kicking anything that does not align with, and which I already have. I think I've become really good at that. I gotta say, I've been very proud of myself this year. Like I haven't stayed in cycles. Like y'all know we're creatures of habits, and I have to say, I think I've been mastering. Ooh, oh my God, I'm gonna smell just like lemons and lime. I can't wait to take a bath tonight. Mm, because I got the body scrub. Also, um, I you know what I sometimes like we stay caught up in cycles of just familiarity, and I think I've been slowly like breaking those cycles. You know, just because. Um, yeah, it's okay to like forgive people and be cool with them. Um, well, no, wait a minute, I said that wrong. Um, be okay with them, and when I think of when I'm what I'm thinking about is, well, not everybody. Let me go ahead and take that back because there's some people that I'll never talk to again, and I don't feel nothing about it either. But glad, okay. Like there are some family members that I have that I'll never speak to again, and I don't feel nothing about it. Period. Okay, nothing at all. And it's okay. Like just because people are related to you, don't mean you have to. If those people have not shown those attributes that family members that's true. Um, you know what? I like that. I like that theme right there, Stephen. He said Tamara Steve theme is God forgives, I don't. I like that right there. I like that. That was the Holy Ghost using you. You right there, Steve. That was the Holy Ghost using you right there. I like that slogan. I'm not perfect. I just feel this way. You can't do what you want to do to me and then think I'm gonna make up with you. I think that has been like the issue with a lot of people that don't that got real big issues with me. I I don't forgive. Okay, like you can't do what you want to do to me, and then you think you can cuss me out or you could steal from me. Um um Stuff like that. Because I told y'all like I have sisters like half sisters that I'll never speak to again. I told y'all when my dad had passed away, and I've gotten better about it. I used to be so upset because, like, I have a sister. Okay, so my dad has 6 girls. Okay, so it's me and my sister with my mother, and then it's 3 of them with their mother, which is his wife. And then we found out like a couple years before my dad passed away, this young lady reached out to my dad. Well, she had reached out to him before that, and my dad told me a couple years ago. And my dad said she called him, and he was sitting at his office, and his assistant was like, "It's a young lady on the phone want to talk to you." And he said he almost didn't take the call. And he said she said, "My grandmama told me you was my daddy." And he said he told her, "No, I don't know who you are." He said he told her, "No, I don't know who you are." And at this point, she was grown, like in her late 20s. And he said she was like, he asked her, "Well, who is your mother?" And she told her her mother was. And he said he asked her, "How old are you?" And he said he thought about it. I did have a brief relationship with a lady around that time. Okay. That particular lady around that time. And so he said, um, he was like, "Well, would you be willing to do a DNA test?" I think in the back of my mind, my dad knew that me personally, this is how I feel. And I rise with my daddy. Okay. I ride with him till the wheels fall off. But in the back of my mind, I believe my dad always suspected suspected that he had, because him and that lady had worked together. I believe he suspected or knew, and it just came back when she got older. I believe that there was some type of agreements. Okay. And and I'm gonna tell you why I believe that there was some type of agreements, because that lady was married and my father was married. Hey, that's just how it's unfortunate, but that's what happened. And I think it came back to knock at his door, and because I think they had some type of agreement. And so that's why because my dad normally would not have even entertained anything like that. And the mere fact, I think about that now, um, I think the mere fact that this young lady reached out to him, and he was so quick to say, "Well, let's do a DNA test." Okay, I believe that he knew. And so she came back 99.999. And I asked her when I finally met her. He didn't tell me right off. He waited a few years before he told me. And I remember I asked her, she said, she was sitting at her grandmother's house one day. During this time, like me and my dad, all my sisters we had at this time, my dad had brought me, all of my other sisters on to a TV show. And she said she was sitting there with her grandmother, and they turned the channel, and she said, there we was. And she said her grandmother said, "That's your daddy, right? That's your real father right there." And I got everything that I wanted for Christmas. Everything that I wanted. Okay. So anyway, she said when she started looking at us, she said she was like, "Wow, like all of us looked alike." And she said she started saying, she said that she started saying, "I really will, I really." She reached out to him, and she wanted a relationship with him, and in which they did, start trying to build a relationship. Um, some of my sisters were not interested for whatever reason. I can't sit up and call myself a Christian. Yeah, I'm sorry. I got a headache. I mean a cold. I can't sit up and call myself a Christian and, you know, feel a certain way about somebody that's innocent. It wasn't her fault. And so I remember my father, I could, at that point, she was like 29, 30 years old. And hey, whatever, conversations that my dad had with my stepmama, that's between them. I don't know that. I don't care. Hey, if she felt a certain way, I guess as a woman, you know, um, hey, I can validate those emotions. But I think what my stepmother failed to understand, I always thought she was a nice person until I got older and realized she was jealous of me and my dad's relationship. Unfortunately, she had the type of personality whereas she was like, "That's my husband." And even though I was there, I'm his oldest child, and he had me before he married her. I think in her mind, because she grew up in the projects, okay, and so I think she had that mentality, or grew up in the damn hood. I think she had that gutter rat mentality that most gutter rats have, and that's my husband. I had these kids with him, and this is his family first. Some women are twisted like that, and unfortunately, um, a lot of men allow it to go. They don't straighten it out. Now, I think if my dad had known she felt that way, he would, because she dare not have allowed my dad to know that she felt a certain way. She would not have let him know that. Okay. She played a role real good. But I think unfortunately that's just how that's the mentality of some women. I think that for women, if you know a man has children and you cannot handle it, don't get with that man. Okay? Don't get with him. If you feel like you're gonna be jealous of his children. Because at the core, I don't believe it's jealousy of the children. I believe they get to thinking about, well, if he loves this child, why is he so interested in these kids? Does he love them because he still loves the mama? That's the root of it all. Okay, and in return they started taking it out on the kids. But I would encourage these men, don't get with no woman that is not, or has any jealousy, because sometimes the kids are older or whatever, but she come in and she don't necessarily have to be. I mean, well, she is a stepmother. Okay, she's a stepmother, and it would be good for them to have some type of relationship. It ain't no way around it. Not to try to take the place of the mother, but to have some type of relationship. It would be good for her to know her place. But understand, listen, hey, I know I'm not your mother, but hey, I'm here for you if you need me. Okay. I love you because I love your dad. Right. And so, but it's a lot of women that's messed up. They're really screwed up in the head. They allow jealousy to rule. And these men gonna have to put their feet down when it comes to stuff like that. I'm not saying, because a lot of kids are manipulative. Okay, they really are, and sometimes, unfortunately, um, they listen to their own parents. And some mothers are so pathetic. They will put a bug in their child ear to try to cause dissension in the household. That's why the dad has to be prayed up, and I mean, he has to make sure that he is on top of that, because most men don't pay attention to nothing, because it wouldn't be for me to be saying anything to a man's child, not unless she's disrespectful to me, and I shouldn't have to say anything to her. He should handle that, because any type of disrespect should already it should be understood that it's not gonna happen. But a lot of men just don't pay attention to certain stuff. I get to thinking about like my dad now, and I would be telling my dad, I would be telling, I've told my dad a couple times that my sisters don't like me. What? No, that's those your sisters, that's your family, that's the dad. And even one of my sister, his the oldest, well, she ain't his oldest daughter, she's his wife oldest daughter. Her husband, who is a pastor, said one time, your dad is in denial. He don't want to see some things. I knew exactly what he was talking about. My sisters didn't like me. And it had everything to do with them taking on that energy that their mother had. But I never, their mother never had any reasons not to like me, other than she was jealous that my dad had decided to go into business with me. When my dad went into business with me, that lady started having strokes. Here, my right hand to the Lord. She started having strokes. It affected her just that much, which is really sad. And so I started thinking about now, like all the anger, like I was so mad because I remember like my sister who has Graves' disease. My sister with my on my mom's side, my sister has struggled. And so my sister was like when she told us, she was like, your dad had a will and he left y'all all the same amount of money. My sister said, what I'm gonna do is, because she had used a lot of her time on her job, and my sister was really sick around that time. This is why I'll never like them. I will never like them. I ain't going to no funerals. I don't give a damn about them. None of them. Okay. As far as I'm concerned, they're not my sisters. They are not my sisters. And so my sister was so sick. This is the sister who I got the same mom with. And she said, you know what? When my dad died, it was really sad. It was really hard. I was closest to my dad than any of them. And so my sister was like, I know I don't have any more. I've used a lot of my time because of my sickness. And so what I can do now is it won't be so, because she has to constantly work because she got bills. She said, what I can do now is I'm going to take some time to let my body heal. Okay, to rest and take off for a little while so that I can try and get well. And when them broads stole our money and my sister was sick like that, I'll hate them for the rest of my life. Can't nobody tell me nothing. I'll never like them. Okay, I would never like them. If I see them, I'm not going to acknowledge them. I don't care nothing about them. And then they got the nerve to be trying to pass themselves off as pastors' wives. Evil and jealous. Okay. So I remember when my dad had told me, he was like, we got some lawyers and we got lawyers and we've had to fight them. And I remember my dad had told me to put some insurance on him because we were business partners, and I did. Okay. My sister was so sick. This is one of the reasons why I was so stressed out. My dad had died, and my dad and I was so close. We talked at least 3 times a day. My sister was so sick. It was ridiculous. So when they paid me out the insurance that I had on my dad, I told my sister to take off work and any bill she had, I would pay it. Okay. Because my sister was sick. And them broads steal our money, made us fight. My sister didn't even have the strength to fight. Cause see, I was like, I don't care if it ain't nothing left. We're gonna keep them in court. We'll drain it all, make them pay lawyers. Cause I didn't care about this time. It was just the principle of it. My dad had an account for us. Ain't no telling what else they stole. Okay, because they're thieves. They steal. Okay, gutter rats. Okay, and hey, it was just messed up. It was. So I was up under so much stress. I was up under so much stress. And for them to have grown up with me, okay, um, for them to do us like that. My grandfather, like my dad's father, was like, my son was a man. That lady had told her, I'm gonna do what you. So my sister, and this is why I'm gonna have a probate attorney to start coming on, because I want for people to start understanding um what when people have the power of attorney of somebody. My sister, who was my dad's wife, was could not get power of attorney of him because she was sick herself. So her daughter, which was, formerly known as my sister, was calling, my dad didn't have nothing in mama name, none of his accounts. I said, okay. I know my dad had just got $1 million. He had just retired and they paid him out 890 something $1,000. Okay. And so he had told us he had everything was equaled out. He had money in an account for us. His wife got the other 50%, and then 50%, the other 50% was divided up between me and my sisters. Lady, how could you be so greedy? Okay, but I mean, I'm not surprised because I can remember a time. I get to thinking about the time when my dad, I had some. My mama had bought my oldest daughter, some banks, and they was like some Mickey Mouse banks, a whole lot of them. And I remember my dad saying, "I'm gonna fill them up. I'm gonna put quarters and stuff like that, dollars, and once I fill them up, you can come in and pick them up." I said, "Okay." I'll never forget my dad. It took about a year. My dad said, "I filled all those banks up for that girl. You can come and get them." He said, "They at my house." I said, "Okay." I never forget. I went to my dad's house to pick up my daughter's banks. These were piggy banks. And my dad was walking through his house. See, my dad was worked and stuff all the time. And he was like, they was in this car. They looking with they no good asses. They was right there in their closet. My dad was walking through the house looking. He was like, the banks was in here. We don't know what happened to him. I guess she took him and gave him to her grandkids, his wife. I said, "Don't worry about it, Dad." It's funny that I was telling my sister that stuff came back to my mind when they they stole our money from us because and we could have fought them and got their money. We could have, but what I did was I wanted to be sure. My sister was so sick. She was like, "I can't fight this fight. I just want to get well." Okay. But y'all know I'm dogmatic. I was ready to fight to the end. I was like, ain't none of us gonna have a dime. I'm gonna keep them fighting until it's dwindled up. Every ounce of it gone. Okay. And so my mama said, but now my mama said, let me tell you something. You had an insurance policy and it wasn't no little bit of money. She said that was a blessing. Don't use your money. You helping your sister. Don't use your money up and giving it to a lawyer trying to fight them. Y'all, they stole. My dad had left us $75,000 a piece, and I'll never forget her daughter Tony, which is my sister, called and she was like, Daddy. This is when my dad had went basically just went into a coma. Almost he couldn't. It was just so sad. It was just so sad. He couldn't. They was having to feed him in a tube and all of that. And so she was like, his milk and stuff is so expensive. And he didn't have mama name on the accounts, and we having to buy his milk and his diapers and stuff. I said, well, we'll help. I said, y'all ain't got to pay for it all by yourself. We'll help. She was like, well, if mama can just get her name on those accounts. Okay, so we going to court so I can get the power of attorney because they wouldn't give it to mama. I said, okay. One of my aunties called me and said, my dad's sister, she said, let me tell you, call me Chrissy. So let me tell you something, Chrissy, you his oldest child. If she's gonna have, y'all can have joint power of attorney. Don't give her all of the power. I wasn't thinking that my sister, who I grew up with, I didn't think that they would do us like that. So what happened was all of that money, my dad had all of that money in an account with his name on it. So when she was like, we're gonna put all it, we just want to get, we got to go through the course to get mama name on all the accounts. We didn't know that, in the will it said that everything, was divided out. We was getting that money, but once her name was put on the accounts, I mean, that beneficiary on whoever name is on the account, that trumps the will. And they knew that. They us trying to help them. We didn't go, it was like, well, we're not gonna contest nothing. Y'all gonna do whatever is necessary. Put your mama name on the accounts so that our daddy can be properly taken care of. And my auntie was saying, Chrissy, don't let them do that. She said, well, I think it should be you and her. I said, no, she can, it's okay. Once they put their mama name on the account, their tone changed. I'm telling you. My dad passed away. Their mama with her no good ass. You would think my sister said, I don't know why, I just had a feeling. My sister said, surely with all of the medical issues that lady is having, this lady ain't even on her last leg. She on toes. Surely they're not gonna do that to us. I just had that feeling. I started getting that feeling because they stopped calling us. So we started trying to call it like, when I'm gonna do what your daddy said do. I'm gonna do what he said do. Her tone changed. A lady who had been docile her whole life, other than sit up and get sick because she was jealous of, she was mad because she felt like a man that she married that already had a daughter, he loved her too much. She let that take her health. Okay. And we went to I called Danny Kale. Shout out to Danny Kale. He teach probate at the law school or at one of those colleges. Okay, he's a lawyer. He said, I'm getting ready to send you to the best lawyer, the best probate lawyer in Memphis. I said, okay. I worked with his wife in at the sheriff's office. We went there, we sat there with that old man. Okay. And he sat there with his legs crossed, and his assistant started coming in there. And them folks had told so many lies. They had gone to an attorney, and what they basically did was they finessed us by saying, they know we wanted to do anything to help them and to help my dad. Once their mother, we allowed them to didn't fight them, and let them put their mother's name on that account. That's the account that our money was in. Okay. It was hers at that point. We could have fought her and did. Okay. My sister was so sick. My sister she's been sick now for a very long time. That's the reason why I know them broads is gonna pay. That's the reason why they deleted all their accounts. But God says, when I get them back, you're gonna see it. They probably already suffering. A few months after that happened, her sister died. 3 more months after that, her other sister died. The very next year, her 41-year-old niece died, and something gonna happen to my damn sisters. Okay. And when they do, I ain't gonna give a damn. Okay. Because they got to get it back. And then had the nerve to say, I don't even want to get into it, but y'all just be on top of your stuff. Okay. Make sure when there's a will written up, make sure that if your dad said, well, I got an account and I want y'all to divide this money up, make sure you tell your dad, well, dad, put all our name on the account. Okay. Therefore, can't nobody change nothing. They forged my dad's signature. They changed so much stuff because once a person has power of attorney, they can change stuff. I think they started looking at the type of money that my dad had, she started letting her daughters, um, once they started seeing all his accounts and all of the money that he had, I believe they wanted him dead. I really do. I used to have a hard time. That's why I had to get counseling. I'm serious. I had to get counseling because I felt like once they started seeing all the money that my dad had, they wanted him gone. Because I remember when my dad was holding on to life, and by this time my sister had the power of attorney, and me and my aunts was out there at the hospital, and my aunt and her daughter, they're nurses, they're registered nurses, and they was looking at his blood pressure. They said, but he's fighting, his blood pressure is good. No, my sister, no, they say he died. They said, but his blood pressure is good. And so they had decided, and I get so emotional, they had decided that they was just gonna let him starve to death. And I called my sister. I said, they said his blood pressure is stable, it's strong, he's fighting. Don't let him starve to death, please. I said, please don't let him starve to death. They stopped feeding him. She told me, well, if I let him, if I tell them to start back feeding him, then what, you bitch, you had start, y'all seen what kind of money he had, and they wanted him dead. That's what I believe. Why should I, as his oldest daughter, have to beg my sister not to let my dad starve to death? I will hate them. I will hate them for as long as I live. I will never acknowledge them if something happened to them. I don't care if they die. I will not be at their funeral. I don't care nothing about them. If I saw their car on the side of the road and it was raining on top of their head, I'm not stopping. I gives no damns about them. Period. That's how I feel. And can't nothing change it. I done been to all types of counseling, grief counseling. I done prayed about it. Ain't nothing changed. So that's how it's supposed to be. That's just how I'm supposed to feel. Okay. I wonder, did that money do him any good though? I wonder, did it do him any good? Because see, when you don't do it right, it slides right through your hand. They can't even be on social media. They deleted their accounts and stuff. Okay. My sister was saying, my sister who was sick, they stole her money too. The girl that we met, my dad had left her a few $1,000s. She didn't get the amount of money that we got. They didn't even give her money. And that wasn't under, y'all got almost $1 million. You and your mama them take all that money and give us nothing? Her mother, my dad had just got a truck. He owed 1 year on it because my dad was like that. He said, I'm gonna pay everything off except for a year. That's what make my credit stay up. She was like, I'm trying to get rid of that truck, that new truck. I said, I want it. I said, I want it. I'll pay it. I said, he only owe a year. I'll just pay it. I'll pay it. I have something. It was a beautiful blue Ram pickup truck. I said, that's a memory that I have of my dad. Y'all know she was trying to give the truck away. Y'all know what she said? Well, I'm gonna see what my son-in-law and his friends say. If they don't want it, I'll give it to you. His daughter, you old bat. You sitting up sick. And you know what she did? She gave it to her son-in-law. I would never like that lady, and I don't care if she's suffering. I'm sure she is. So when people say, when my aunties get to saying, y'all sisters, I hope at some point y'all can dissolve this. I'll never dissolve nothing with them. And here, that's my right hand to the Lord. I would never dissolve nothing with them. I never want a relationship with them. For me as a sister to have to call another sister, and she grew up in the house with my daddy. My daddy was just laying there. He could hear. He could do a little bit of talking because I asked him what my name was, and he told me what my name was. As they say, he was dying. My dad would be laying there and tears would just be rolling out of his eyes. I get to wondering what them bras was saying. I'm sure he got the opportunity to hear a lot because they had this computer. And so the guy who took my dad's place, he was calling me and said, "Look, Tamara, the bank is because he got my dad's old number and everything when he was elected in. He said the bank is calling, asking for Rick Thompson, saying somebody his there's an alert on his account. Somebody's hitting his account. They was going into his accounts. They wanted him gone. They wanted him dead. See, I know me. I got the brain and the mind because my dad gave me the tools that I needed. I can go make me $1 million and I'm gonna do it. Okay, because I know how to go get it. But I bet you that $1 million that they got, I bet you they won't be able to keep it. My sister said one of them, she was on TikTok. She said she posted a video of my nephew. I guess on TikTok, because I don't be on TikTok like that. You can see who look at your videos. My sister said she saw that one of them somehow found her page and had started, I guess, quietly looking at her video. She said, I blocked her quickly. Good. Good. I'm glad she blocked it. We don't want no parts of them. Because the thing about me is what you see is what you get with me. I'm not gonna try to get up under you so I could snake you. I don't keep my enemies close. I don't want them around me. I'm not gonna keep you close to me. I don't want to snake you. I'm gonna tell you how I feel about you. Okay. And that's if you do something to me. But what you see is what you get. I'm a loyal person. Okay. I'm a loyal person. So I don't be sitting around trying to figure out how I can snake somebody. I be sitting around trying to figure out how I can build something for myself. Okay. And then I don't go run to church and say I'm married to a preacher and I'm a minister and an evangelist and I'm stealing from my sisters, trying to find a way. Y'all tried to find a way to snake us as if we was the enemy, money that our daddy had left us. Then the mama was turning around mad because I had an insurance policy on my dad. That was my damn daddy. Yes, I put an insurance policy on it. And I should have put the amount on it that he had told me to put on it. But I was still sitting pretty. Okay. That's why I was able to help my sister. But my sister was sick. He had left her money. My sister should have been able to rest peacefully, but I made sure that she got well because I paid her bills for her. See, that's the type of sister I am. I don't snake around like I'm some type of Christian and then steal from my damn sisters. I remember that lady, her tone changed. The young lady who we found out was our, who my dad introduced us to later on, Carol. They were so mean to that girl. At my dad's funeral, they was mean. They wanted to be mean to that girl. How could they? How could they? All she wanted was a relationship. And then my stepmom gonna say to me, so you told my dad, lady, that you accepted that. Cause see, if it had been me, I wouldn't have. If I didn't want to accept that I found out that my husband went and had an affair on me and he got a 30-year-old child. You find out 30 years later. You tell my dad that you forgive him. It's been 30 years. You accept it. The girl 30 years old, you find out when she's 30 years old, you should have told him you don't accept it. But she played like she accepted it. While my daddy was alive, then when my daddy died, the moment he died, she tried to treat us all the same. Okay. But they didn't get the satisfaction. All me and my sister wanted to do was see that they had changed we was going I was ready to fight. I'm a fighter. That's what I am. I like to go blow for blow. It ain't nowhere in the world I'm gonna be a damn private investigator and not go and see what these people had done. They changed my dad's accounts. Okay. That's what they did without a conscience. My dad has been gone almost 3 years. I guess I wonder if that excitement that they had from stealing from us, I wonder that same excitement that they had 3 years ago, do they got it out now? Because I'm gonna tell you, I got a mama that's mentally sane, and I got a praying mama. My mama said, my mama told me, y'all stop spending y'all money fighting, because it wasn't even about getting the money at that point. I just wanted to make them fight to spend money. That's what I wanted to do. Okay. My mama said, let them have it, and you'll get it back triple. And it was something about that, y'all, because I ain't been able to miss a blessing. I haven't been able to miss one. My life is full. I'm happy. And my sister got well and she ain't been sick no more. We can't ask for anything more than that. And all of the tools that my dad instilled in me, I still got them. I still got them. I think with my stepmama, in her mind, she said Rick gave that girl more than, in her mind, Rick gave that girl more than what he gave my daughters, and I'm his wife. I'm gonna let her know she ain't getting nothing else. If I gotta be the one to give it to her, we gonna trick them and steal it. Us trusting them, trying to help them, and they gloated about that. That's how I know that that they. I'm sure they suffer. They suffering. If they ain't, they going to. And I know that I think about it now. That lady was getting in my sister head, which is her oldest daughter. Because I remember when we were teenagers, my dad used to be so upset because my sister would write him letters. They weren't allowed, I get they weren't allowed to be vocal like me. And that's another thing too. She used to talk about, because she called herself Dear the Testimony. I used to, and I thought she was the nicest stepmama until she said, I got a testimony. I said, yeah, I had to ask God to forgive me for how I felt about you when you was growing up. I said, huh? You felt a certain way about me as a little girl? Yeah, because your daddy was hard on my girls and he wasn't hard on you. It never registered with that lady that I grew up in a different household. They weren't they were raised differently. My mama and my grandmother raised me. So I was outspoken. I was allowed to speak my mind. It was just different. So when I would go and spend summers with them, when my dad said something, I would question why. He would always put me, he would always you don't ask me why. It's because I say it. And I would say, but why though? So that was foreign in their household, but in her mind, I guess she felt like he was supposed to whoop me or something. I don't know. It did not register to that lady. That jealousy didn't allow her to register. Well, this girl is being raised differently, so her personality is different. But instead, what she said was, "Your dad was hard on my girls. He was strict on my girls in our household, but he wasn't strict on you. You talk back." I was raised in a different household, so my grandma taught me to, if there's an issue, I need to get an understanding. So I guess as I got grown, I started to understand, like, this lady, my sister, her oldest daughter, that's right up under me, would write my dad letters and stuff, telling my dad, "You love Christy more than you love all of us." And I would be thinking, why would she even think that? Like, they always had a beautiful home. Like, they just, why would she think that? Right? Why would she ever think that? I never thought that I was my dad's favorite. I didn't. And I didn't care to be his favorite. I didn't live my life like that. Like, how some siblings, they dwell because they feel like somebody. Now I be playing with my mama sometimes, but I never, I didn't, I've just, when my mind has never been set up like that to go, well, I'm traumatized because this sister is the favorite. I've never lived my life like that. I never cared. But for her to be writing my dad letters, I see now that it was heavily influenced by her mother. Now that I'm an adult, I see that when we were teenagers, you sitting up writing my dad letters and leaving my dad letters in his pockets and stuff. And I bet her mama had her doing that, talking about you favor Chrissy over all of us. Why would my sister even think something like that? Even as a little girl, that's just weird, because I didn't even grow up in the house with my dad. Me and my dad clashed. We fell out all of the time. I just think that her mother had a misunderstanding. We had My dad and our personalities was so much alike. We just clashed all the time up until I was in my 30s. And then my dad decided, I want to go into business with you. And it was just because we had the same personality. But I get to thinking about this stuff now, y'all, and I mean, it's really sad. And I talk about this because I know it's a lot of family members that go through stuff like this. Hey, I've gotten past it. I really have. Like, I don't think about it and get angry like I used to. I really have. But one thing that I don't ever want a relationship with any of those people. I don't want folks like that in my life. I wouldn't. Anytime you could snake your own sister and then brag about it, I never want anything to do with those people. I would never even acknowledge them. Anyways, y'all, enough about my life. Y'all know I done talked about this a couple times, but like I said, I'm on the other side of it. Like I'm a lot better because God is too good to me for me to, to hold on to. I think I was more angry in the beginning because my sister was sick. And that's their sister too. And y'all steal her money. Okay. So it's best, like, if there's anything, even if it's just a family house, make sure everybody has a copy of the will, because my dad did make sure we all had copies of the will. But if there are any accounts, um pay close attention to that, because whoever gets power of attorney, they're gonna put their name on those accounts, and then they're not gonna give the rest of the people nothing. So don't trust one person with all of to do all of the business part. Tony, a buck-eyed bitch. She's sitting over there with her buck eyes and her damn husband supposed to be a preacher. You buck-eyed hoe. Okay. You set up and you lied, you bitch, and I would never like you. Never. I wouldn't care. I don't give a fuck about you. They probably, because they like to creep and sneak and be all in the bushes. I hope she hear me. You garbage. That's how I feel about you. Like you some trash on the street. That's how I feel about you. Um. Anyways, I'm gonna get away from that subject because I get too mad. I start thinking about that stuff because I don't even I can't think about it because I get mad. Then their mama gonna say, "You sitting up, you keeping secrets." Later, what are you talking about? Did you think I wasn't gonna put no insurance on my own daddy? I guess she didn't think I was supposed to even do that. Cake Split says, I'm going through a lot. Most people as well, but you just have to keep pushing and stay. Yeah, right. That's true. You have to keep pushing and stay positive. You do. Y'all don't know the things that these women said, like about us, about my mother. I'll never like them. It just I don't like them. I never will. Something funny that has happened lately. Oh, let me see what has happened lately that's funny. Um, mm, Oh. Thank you, Miss Nellie. I get to wondering sometimes when I walk in there, my dad would be having tears coming out of his eyes. I know he knew his time was short, but I just wonder what he was hearing. I wonder if he was hearing them talk. I just wonder if he could understand and hear what they were saying. Which is probably why he would be crying. That lady tried to make me so uncomfortable. She wanted me to know she was in control. Her mind told her I got to let her know I'm in control. I'm running. Then she called me at 5 o'clock one morning. Lady, you sick. You ought to been up praying about your health. Your daddy was a private man. He don't want nobody knowing nothing about him. I'm trying to. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, lady. What are you talking about? I wasn't even sleeping in my bed at that point. I was so upset. I was so upset about my dad dying. I couldn't even sleep in my bed. I was sleeping on the couch. Hold on. Hello?
Tim, you still in Friday?
You said am I still in Fraser? No, I'm at home. Mm-mm. I did it. I went to North Memphis. Mm-hmm. Or is that Fraser? Is it Fraser? Over there around Overton Crossing? Oh, okay. Doing my podcast. Why, what's up? Yeah. Why, what's going on? Uh yeah, I'm doing my podcast. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I'm doing my podcast. But I'll call you when I get off. All right. Bye bye. Ciao. No, my baby daddy that's got the and our daughter get ready to turn 25. No, he didn't ask me if I would like to go have some drinks with him. The devil is a lie. My luck been going good all this year. Um, he saw me in Frasier. I guess that's why he called. Um, child. Mm-mm. He a cool person. He done changed his life around and stuff. I guess. Tam don't think nothing is in North. I know that's right. That's a North Memphis dude. I'll pass. I can't go have no drinks with him. The way me and that boy used to fight, like I'm talking not physically fight, but I used to be at his head. I used to aggravate him so much. Because he was slick. So he might be trying to poison my drink or something. He said, "What you doing over in my neighborhood?" I had to go take a statement for one of the attorneys. I know working on a Saturday, but that's the only time I could go get the statement. He said, "Yikes." He says one of my customers. Oh Lord, I don't think. Well, I don't really know. I was gonna say I don't think he smoked no weed. I never seen him smoke weed, but I hadn't been with the guy in 20 years, so I don't really know what he do. I tell you. Well, it's a good thing he called. That took my mind off of talking about my dad, but I do miss my dad so much. I miss our conversations. My dad was funny. He was real humorous. He was very smart. And I think I I was just really I think about like now the things that he did. Like he was such a strategist. Like I'm just in awe of how he was. And I'm gonna tell y'all who my dad reminds me of. Me and his sister was talking about that the other day. And my auntie was talking about I've been listening to the philosopher, the Machiavellian. And when I listen to him, I mean everything that he talks about, everything that he says. And I think I listened to it so much because it's just like the exact same wisdom that my father had. Like that's how my dad operated. That's how my dad was. And I think that's why I have taken so much interest in that philosopher because he reminds me, even though been dead, like olden days. It's just like that his philosophy, when I'm listening to somebody read his philosophies and stuff, it just reminds me of how my dad moved. My dad was just I really have an appreciation for him now. I think that's why, I think about now like I'm so hard on not hard on the guys, but I be looking for some of those traits. My dad didn't try to get over on women. My dad been taking care of his kids and his family since he was 18 years old. And so when you see a man that's a strategist, that's a provider and a protector, listen, you already like my dad, you already knew you could depend on him. He was going to come up with something, right? He was going to come up with something. And so I'm going to tell y'all something that happened. I remember when like one of the last elections, they had started trying to put everybody up against my father in his last days, right? Because nobody could beat him. He was so good and he fought so hard for the people and he was so good to the community. When nobody gonna put nobody in his position. And so I remember like one of the last elections, they was like the only way to get him out of office is to start playing dirty. Okay, so they called themselves gonna go dig up some dirt on my dad, talk about my sister that I told y'all about that called my dad. It's like, well, he got a secret child and this and that. And I'm gonna tell y'all what a lot of the black people said when they started doing that. We don't give a damn what he got. He's effective. He fights. He ain't sold out. He's never sold out. We don't care how many kids he got. That ain't got nothing to do with us. Okay. But I remember they was really trying to do a smear campaign on him. I was even out. I got out with my little heels and stuff on. I was passing out flyers. Y'all re-elect my daddy. In the sun, y'all re-elect my daddy. I was so upset. I was getting on my TV show. I was mad. I was like, y'all make sure y'all re-elect my daddy. I was mad. I was talking about him because they was messing with me. They was the call themselves gonna was talking about my daddy. So, anyways, I remember my dad. I remember my dad. I was saying, Dad, what you gonna do? Because they really trying to start the smear campaign. And my motherfucking daddy ain't never been caught up in no fucking Tennessee waltz. These illiterate bitches, okay, lying on my damn daddy. My daddy was an honorable man, okay, and so that's the reason why I never addressed that, okay, because that was funny to me. Hell, they come up in my chat one day talking about Tennessee waltz, and me, I'm thinking, is they talking about the dance, the Tennessee waltz? Because I don't be knowing what be going on with these trolls. Child, then they got talking about, her daddy was a scammer. He was caught up in the Tennessee waltz. I said that's why they was coming in my chat talking about Tennessee. Oh my God. Everybody who was caught up in the Tennessee waltz, their name and stuff is in the paper. Child, my dad ain't never been. I guess they, because my dad's name is Rick. They get my dad. I guess they want to say Ricky Pete was my dad. So, anyways, I said, Dad, what you gonna do? They really going at you hard. My dad crossed his leg at the knee as men do. Okay. And he said, I got some. Me and my team, we doing something. He never got out of character. He never panicked. He never did nothing. Y'all, they can play dirty in politics. All I can say is my dad won. Okay, whatever him and his team did, it drove his opponent after that election. It got so ugly. His opponent had to go to Lakeside, and I hear my right hand to the Lord on my daddy's grave. They started trying to pull up dirt on my dad, and which wasn't no dirt. What they talk about his daughter, that my sister. That's what they did. Okay. And then after that, my dad and them, they just didn't play no games, and it stressed the guy out so bad. Whatever it was they pulled up on him, he had to go to the crazy house. So, but he started it. And my dad was reelected. How about that? Okay. Um, he said, man, everybody went down when the Tennessee waltz dropped. I know, and it seemed like they went to jail because I think it was Ricky Pete, that lady with the red hair, because she passed away. It seemed like a lot of them had died right after they got out of jail. It seems like a lot of them had passed away when they got out of jail. Because I forget the lady name with the red hair. I think it was Ricky Pete, in which Ricky Pete is still around. John Ford, and Roscoe. His name was Roscoe something. Was it Roscoe Dixon? Yeah, Catherine Byers. I think that was her name, Catherine Byers. And when somebody named Roscoe, it was another one. Yeah, Bowers. Catherine passed away shortly after she got out of jail. She was already an old lady. I really hate they did that to them. But they shouldn't have been doing it, but it took that old lady down. I think they went after them because that's around the time that John Ford started getting real cocky. He was getting on TV and he was real cocky, and he was talking about this and that. And one thing you can't do, these people make themselves a target. If the I'm gonna tell you something, the federal government is on your back, it's best to go crawl up under a rock. Okay, it's just best to go crawl up under a rock, because if you think you're gonna play in their face, you can't win. You can't win. So if I was you, because if they can't get you on one thing, they'll keep picking until they find something on you. So a lot of times when you if you beat the system, it's best to just stay low. I mean, if I would. Michael Hooks Jr. got caught up in the Tennessee waltz, went to jail. Then we saw him at the end of the hustle and float trying to get detail. Oh my God. Mm. He went to jail for 30 days and hustle and flow drops. That's real talk. Oh wow. He said they shot most of it in South Memphis. Hmm. Yeah. I was real proud of 3 6 Mafia for they did their big one. I think even with them winning, what did they win? An Oscar? They still have not I don't think that they have paid homage to them as they should, like with them winning an Oscar and all of that. I still don't think that they give them their props as like they should. I don't think that a lot of Memphis um rappers don't give them their props like they should. You know, I don't know why Memphis rappers, like to do that. Some of them, not all of them, just some of them. Because it's really a lot of talent in Memphis, but I think the thing that goes on in Memphis with some of these rappers, they probably I think they're afraid to to deal with, even with all of the talent. I think they'd be afraid to really deal with other Memphis rappers that have not been within their circle, because of don't be getting mad, but it's the truth because of how backdoorish they are. Okay. See, oh my God, I was getting ready to I have to get better. I've already had a blow up tonight. I ain't trying to do another one because I was getting ready to go in, but I'm not gonna do it. I think Eminem won 2 for 8 Mile, but he ain't black though. 3 6 Mafia is the only black hip hop group to win an Oscar. Isaac Hayes won the first one in '73 for Shaft. It was Isaac Hayes, then 36. But anyway, y'all, let me go back to my stepmama. So I didn't finish telling the story, and I'm then I have to say this. I'm gonna be finished with it. So she called me. So I was so stressed out in my dad's last days. For some reason, I could not sleep in the bed. Like I was so restless. I was sleeping on the couch. I slept on the couch. And I normally don't sleep on the couch because I don't like for people to sleep on couches. But I would be sitting up because I couldn't sleep, and then I would fall asleep on the couch. That's how my mind was so messed up, right? And so I remember I fell asleep on the couch, and it was like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, and it scared me. She woke me up out of my sleep. This is how uncomfortable this old lady. Lord forgive me. I don't want to call her names because that's disrespectful. So I'm not gonna do it no more. Even though her daughter called my mama names, okay, and her too. And so, um, anyways, she said she called me, and I'm thinking, oh my God, it's so early, Lord. I just knew something had happened to my dad, so I couldn't even breathe until she said something. Yeah, Chrissy, early in the morning. I said, yeah. I'm breathing hard because I had panic. I was hyperventilating. Your daddy was a private person, and your daddy didn't want people to know he was sick. So she was basically accusing me, and he don't want folks knowing how sick he is. I didn't know what that lady was talking about. So come to find out, I guess she automatically felt like I was going around telling. I couldn't tell nobody my dad was sick. Hell, I was trying to wrap my mind around it. But that's just how she was, though. You know what I mean? This was her opportunity to flex. I guess she said for 40 years, I ain't been able to tell him, don't love your daughter. Because I later found out that they was trying to talk him against me and lying on me and all types of stuff. Yeah, these folks gonna get that stuff back. What kind of human beings are they? So when folks say I hope y'all can mend it, I don't want to mend nothing with nobody like that. I don't care if they is family. I don't deal with folks like that. Relatives or not, and I don't consider them my relatives. Okay. It's a darn shame when you can have. I remember like when my dad was getting ready, when he knew he was getting ready to retire, he was getting sick. He didn't tell us though. And so we would have meetings for our nonprofit organization at his house on every Saturday. So I remember my dad looked at my sisters and said, okay. He was like, so because my dad had wanted to get into politics, do run for office again, a different office, but he started getting sick. Okay. And so I remember we had a meeting. He said, y'all, this is what we're gonna do. He said, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take some money and get some business partners of mine and some of the city officials to get behind Chrissy, and we're going to get behind her and run her for office, get a position and run and support her. And I'll never forget, Buckeye Tony looked at my dad with her buck eyes. This is my sister, my half sister, and said, "So you're saying that you want to support Chrissy and get her run her for office?" He said, "Yeah." So how is that beneficial to us for you to support her and run her for office? That's what she said. Any other sister would have been excited and said, okay, what position do we have to play? But that's what she said to my daddy. So I always knew those girls didn't like me. And her mama just sitting there staring at me. And when I would tell my dad, I tried to tell my dad a couple times, I said, Dad, I don't think your wife or your daughters like me. He said, your daughter, my daughters, those are your sisters. You grew up with them. Yeah, my dad was in denial. They do like you. My dad was in denial, but they faked around my daddy. They faked around him, so they made him think that. That's what they made him think. See, I'm not fake. So whatever I felt, he knew it. And I didn't have anything against them women because I wasn't studying them. I don't live my life grudging and hating on other people. I live my life trying to figure out what I can do to make myself better and put myself in a better position to be a wealthy woman. That's how I live my life. Hating on another woman ain't gonna make me wealthy. I knew that years ago. Some people ain't got it figured out though. And so that's the one thing they felt like we can get our lick back. He put all that time and energy into her. This is our lick back right here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna steal her money. He dead now. He says Isaac Hayes from North Memphis via Covington, Tennessee. But we're gonna claim that as North Memphis Oscar and half of the 36. Yeah, Juicy J and his brother Patrick. What's his name? Project Pat. They're from North Memphis. I think Juicy J and Pat and Project Pat's father had a church. He was a preacher. I think he had a church in North Memphis. What Cypress says? Cypress, no, I think their dad had a church in North Memphis. Y'all won't believe what I was looking at. I was looking at I don't know why y'all, but I've always liked the Jaguars, the cars. So I pulled up one tonight because I was like, let me see what the 2026 is looking like. And believe it or not, they are not that expensive, y'all. Everything is starting to gradually go down because people ain't got the money. It's more supply than demand. Ain't nobody got no money to pay for it. And I was so hurt because one of the reasons that I like the Jaguars is because not only are they, they drive good and fast and smooth. They they had that Jaguar, that cat that stood set up on the front. Don't y'all know they don't have that on it no more? So I X'd that off of my list. I was like, Lord, when I saw that they had gone down, because I was like a 2026 is like 40 some thousand. I was like, that's in my price range. And then I looked and see that they ain't got the symbol no more. That killed my dream. It killed my dream for real. It killed my dream of ever having one. I'm surprised Cypress hasn't been in here. Oh yeah, it was something. It was a song I wanted to play for you all that really touched me. I've listened to it before, but I had not listened to it in a long time. I think it's gonna be a blessing to y'all too. So don't log off. All of you are in the back. I think the song is gonna be a blessing. I love inspirational music. I'm gonna make me some guacamole tonight too. Oh, hold on.
So he's not trying to change who he made you to be. He just wants you to use all that swag for him. Cartwheel in church. Almost got extra for not just me, but support gospel music, period. Low self-esteem, this CD is going to bless. Sales overall are low. And so I would please ask you to please support, give it to someone. If you already have it, buy it for someone who's suffering, who has been abused, who's been on drugs, who has low self-esteem. This CD is going to bless them, amen? All right, let's go, different. Hey, turn it up.
Yeah, I love this song right there. It's so inspirational. And it's her life story.
Yeah. Back when I was 17, like every other girl, I used to have big dreams. But then I got introduced to some other things. And suddenly the church girl I was originally. You see, the wrong things can call your name. I chose to answer when the Spirit said walk away. And now I live with circumstances that I can't erase. I just wish I could go back now to yesterday. But there's not a hole too deep. No, that God will reach down and save me. You see, clean me up and made me new. So welcome back, and now I'm standing here in front of you. Yeah, I'm different, y'all. I'm not the same. Ever since I met the same. Come on, put your hands on it. I must admit, back in the day, I did say I did some crazy things. I'm not the same, no. Hey, my life is changed. So y'all did some crazy things. Oh yeah. Listen, see, I'm human. I'm gonna make mistakes. If and when I do, please show me some grace. Cause so it may be me who messed up today. It may be your turn tomorrow, then I'll bet you say. Cause what goes around goes back around. Goes your hurt on your way up, but baby when you're down, yeah. I used to be the same way. But one Sunday morning, something in my heart changed. Yeah. I'm not the same. Since I met the Savior, see my life has changed. My life has changed. Yeah. God, it's some crazy things. Yeah. I'm not the same. No. My life has changed. God, it's some crazy things. Yes, it is. Yeah. But there's not a hole too deep, no. And God wanna reach down and save me. You see, clean me up and made me new. Said welcome back, and now I'm standing here in front of you. You can see it in my walk, or the see it in how I talk. I can see it in how I pray. I start to shed some tears each word I say. They tell me like day and night. I used to go off quick, I cuss and fight, and I blame everyone else for my mistakes. If someone got too close, I push away. But then Jesus came in my life, y'all. saw my potential and made it right. Not just religion, but something real. It's what I know now, not what I feel. You can't silence like I can. Look at me, oh, I'm born again. It wasn't easy, everything happened through. I'm stronger now, I'm stronger, I'm strong. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, and now I can help you, and help you, and help you to be different. God.
Yeah, I love that song so much. Oh my God, that song is so inspirational to me. Just the words of it, and then listening to her testimony of how she was on drugs, because her mother is a famous gospel singer. Lisa Page Brooks is her mother, and hearing her testimony of how she got on drugs, um, like mental institution, she was molested, she was raped actually, put a lot of anger inside of her, and and how she had to, just change the life around. She had to get help, and it helped to change the life around. Listen to her voice. She's been in Tyler Perry's plays. Um, that song is just very inspirational to me. The name of the song is "I'm Different." And I think we've all had to go through some pit experiences, because I often talk about, like, I freely talk about, like, the depression that I went through when my dad passed away, because I know that we all go through the same things. Like, I'm not ashamed of it, because I know people go through stuff and they try and hide it. They want people to feel like they're strong, they can just carry the world on their shoulders. And hey, just shame to talk about certain things. And so that's why I'm on here, and I try and be as transparent as I can be, because I want for folks to know, like, we all go through the same stuff, really. Different people, different times, but we all basically go through the same things, right? So, um, yeah. So that's why I love to listen to inspirational songs. You would never know, like, especially when I get up in the morning times and stuff. That's my time. Even if I get on here early, I've been sitting up for a long time. Oftentimes in the morning time when I get on here. Hold on. That's my time to meditate and stuff. Who working on the deal? Oh, Cypress working on the deal to do a documentary on Gotti. Child, Gotti doing all he can to try to stay out of Dodge. It's almost as if he lives overseas. It's almost like Gotti lives overseas. I don't know. I believe he was on a video. Some Gotti looks like he is so. What's the word that I'm looking for? He looks. He looks troubled. They said they brought up Gotti. What? Talk about it. Gotti looks like he's troubled to me. Like, he just do. Like, he looks like he's. I bet if he had to do everything all over again, he would do it differently. I bet he would do it differently. Yeah. I bet he would do it differently. I bet a lot of those things that they thought, um, they kind of elevated him a little bit, but I bet in his mind he's saying that it's not worth it. He's lost a whole lot. Anytime you think you're gonna cut down somebody else's life and their blessings, you always create a you sow that bad seed, it always grows in your front yard, you know. And so I believe that if he had to do it over, he would do it differently. Because he sees now that it wasn't worth it, you know. A lot of people think he did something to his brother. I don't. I think he loved his brother. And I believe that what happened to his brother, you know, eat away at his conscience a whole lot. So yeah, I do. I believe if he had to do it all over again, he would do it differently. Because who is your guardian them to decide that they um have the power to take another man's life? You know, that's the reason why it turned out like it did. Because you know, they tried to put themselves in a godlike position. It never turns out right. It never do, you know. I don't think any of them fared well because you know you think about Black Youngster's a rap career is basically it's basically like obsolete, like it's bleak. Actually, his rap career is bleak. It's almost like it's not there, and then like all the psychological problems that they say he had, you know. So you know that so I mean, it just it didn't turn out good for any of them. Gotti said himself, Gotti got him quiet and probably, um, uh, mm, yeah, they got him quiet after they had him do all that dirty work for him. He wasn't quiet in the beginning when they thought they had gotten away with it. He was very vocal. Okay, when he thought he had gotten away with it. So, and each and every time there was an issue, like when there was an issue with Snoop Bands and Gotti, what he do? He allowed youngster to start talking again, you know. So youngster was ready to jump right in, and he was glad Gotti was showing him some affection. So I don't think he's gonna fare well in the end, you know. You know, youngster. A lot of people say, well, you know, they didn't have anything to connect him to the Young Dolph's murder. You know, I don't know. I ain't in the loop, so I don't know. But if you felt like you was being looked at already for what happened to Young Dolph, do y'all think he would be stupid enough to go and do something else stupid in Memphis right after that? Um, I don't know. I just wonder. And you know what's so crazy? Like these young dudes, they so money hungry. They so stupid. It, when they go do when they take money to go do whatever it is that these people ask them to do, by the time they get indicted, they ain't got no more money for no damn lawyer. Okay, they don't be having no money for no lawyer by the time that they're indicted. Mm-mm-mm. But you know what? I don't think that Quando, the difference was in that situation, I don't think Quando was trying to do anything, Savon. Quando wasn't trying to do nothing, Savon. He wasn't. I don't even think he wanted to do anything to King Von. I don't think they plotted to do anything to King Von. Unlike in the Young Dolph's case, these people plotted on this man's life. And for what? Why? Why did they plot on his life? I have not heard a valid reason yet why they plotted on Young Dolph's life. Why did they do that? Why? Why would they do it? It's just evil. And as women, well, as women, when these men pillow talk, at some point they're gonna have to use their influence and let these dudes know that this stuff ain't cool. Who would want to date a hitman? Not me. You think I would want him bringing that bad energy and stuff back to me? Those spirits and those spirits that hunt them after they go and kill these people, they interrupt these people's lives. And them bad spirits and stuff follows them. I don't need that around me. I don't want it. He said Quando's homeboy stepped up. She said, I thought you was going off. I'm leaving the beauty shop. No, I'm still on. I am still on, child. Just chilling. I'm sitting here combing my hair. I shampooed it and treated it earlier. But I don't know why they. Well, I know why they did it. Jealousy. They did it because of jealousy. Yeah. I hate that happened to Vaughn. I think that Vaughn would have been a force to be. I don't know though. Vaughn was a serial. Um, Vaughn had a serial killer spirit on him. So he thought it was a sport, and that's scary. He thought that it was a sport to kill other people or pay to have other people killed. He was just absolutely desensitized to what he was doing to people. And so, unfortunately, for people like him, you know, I mean, their time, something has to happen to stop them. It's unfortunate, but something has to happen. And I wouldn't have wished that upon my worst enemy, but it was probably just the bad karma. Also, maybe some things that he had done. But I hate that though. She said she thinking of going in LDs tonight. Where is LDs at? Is that in North Memphis? Oh, across from CC's. Where is CC's at? Yeah, where is CC's at? CC. Oh, okay. CC's in North Memphis too. Okay. I never been to neither one. I've never been to a. I went to a club in Memphis one time, and it was over off of Mount Moriah about 20 years ago, and that club ain't there no more. I wonder why they closed the Crystal Palace down. I wish they had the skating ring like like what we used to have. I mean, but I think they had started just getting too rowdy at the Crystal Palace, and they had to close it down. Probably they probably had to close it down. But I used to like to go there when I was a teenager. We could go and skate and have fun and stuff. I drove down Thomas today. Oh my God, I think I did see LDs going. I thought it was a restaurant though. You go down Thomas, it's over on the right hand side if you're going north. I don't know why I thought it was a fish place, a restaurant. That's why a lot of clubs and stuff started taking the dance floor up and adding the kitchen in the back. Yeah, that's the green and yellow place. Yep. I don't know why I thought it was a restaurant. It looked like it's too small to have a lot of people up in there. It's not a big place. So it's a hole in the wall. It's a hole in the wall of place. I know I'm yarning, but I got to taste for some guacamole, and I am going to make me some because I am hungry. I have not eaten, and making it will be quick because I've had a taste for some guacamole, some homemade guacamole since yesterday. Yeah, I've never been a club person. Yeah, I've never been a club person. That's the juke joint. She said that's the juke joint. Hole in the wall vibe full of blues. I tell you. I mean, it used to be nice it used to be cool to go to the Peabody, but mm-mm. I mean, I don't mind, but the crowd is changing. It's not it's not a crowd that I care to be around. I don't want to be around nothing really under 38. Anything under 38, I'll pass. Because I kind of like to be around folks that's got something to lose, so they don't really crash out too quickly. I remember that time the barber, one of the guys that work at the barbershop in the building that my that my studio is in. I remember he came around there and he was at the what's the name of that place on Elvis Presley, Marlowe's, that time when that guy beat Thaddeus Matthews up. And so I was like, was it a young guy or was he older? He was like, I don't know how old he was, but he said, I can only assume that he had to have been older, because if it had been a young dude, they'd have killed him. They stupid. And that is true. It was an older guy. At the time, the guy was in his 30s. I hate that happens to Thaddeus, though. I really didn't like that. They said he was just crying. He talked a lot of mess with it. Don't be. He was an old man that couldn't see. It wasn't good to just be beating on him. I don't like it when people do other people like that. Oh. Anyways, y'all, I've been on here 2 hours. I'm gonna get off. I'm tired. I need to make my guacamole, and my throat trying to get sore. It's because this weather. It was so hot today to me, and it was hot yesterday. And they're saying it's supposed to get real cold next week. This weather is crazy. It is very crazy. So, I would suggest that you wrap your head up and all of that good stuff. Anyway, y'all, we was just getting on talking mess tonight. We talked about a couple things, but I want you all to know that I do appreciate y'all and everybody that supports the channel. I appreciate you for taking time out of your day to tune in and to listen to me. Tomorrow, we'll be talking about some things that is going on, and yeah, I'll come on tomorrow after church. Okay. I want you all to have a good night. I love you all. I'll talk with you later.